Hey everyone, welcome to this full moon Sidereal astrology forecast for the full moon on October 31st, 2020. All right, so full moon in Aries. If you're expecting me to say Taurus just then, be sure to check out the link down below. We are using the actual size of the constellations as seen in the visible sky, which is different from mainstream astrology. All right, so full moon, heightened phase of the cycle, and also the status check. And in this case, with Aries, the side of ourself that does want to take initiative and action towards these things. So great to do a status check with this side of ourself. How is that side of ourself going? And how can we further implement this initiating, direct, assertive, and independent side of Aries? And the independence definitely gets activated because the full moon will be at a very close, in fact, an exact conjunction with Uranus at 0 degrees and 0 minutes. So a perfect conjunction. And so in this case, Uranus, the planet that represents liberating things, the liberator that wants to have more freedom, more change, more revolutionary energy to pursue these needs and desires that Aries can bring to the forefront. So with this awareness of who we are and what we want, how can we do some change, getting outside of our comfort zone, maybe revolutionizing some things to really do things that are more important to us in terms of our true self. So with this conjunction, there's no other major aspects with the full moon. But of course, this always indicates balance with the sun. So we want to make sure we're not going to any over under extremes with any of this energy of assertiveness, or also with that wanting freedom and change, because we may want to break free a little bit. So keeping good awareness for balance there. And of course, looking at Mars, the ruler of Aries, can give us more information on this. And Mars in Pisces is that it's through being more receptive, through doing things more important to us on a soul and spiritual level, and being as flexible and willing to go with the flow as much as possible can help this energy cultivate. All right, so let's take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here is the chart for the full moon. The full moon will be at 11:41 a.m. Eastern time of the Americas on Saturday, October 31st. All right, so, and also as you can see here, we are using the actual visible sky. You can see the constellations are different sizes. This is very different from mainstream astrology, which uses an even 30 degrees for all of the constellations. So this will be different from mainstream. If you are new to this channel, definitely check out that link down below for more information on true sidereal astrology. All right, so we have a full moon. So first of all, full moon is the heightened phase of the lunar month. And with this, building some momentum and energy as we get to Saturday. And as we get closer to Saturday, full moons are usually a time of making some shifts and changes, right? And it's all about incorporating this new energy for the remainder of the lunar cycle, so the next 2 weeks, but also for the solar year, maybe the next 6 months in terms of some of these shifts and changes. And that's why it's so good to do a status check at this time. How is this, in this case, Aries side of ourself? How is this Uranus side of ourself? And how can we implement this moving forward? So first of all, let's start with what Aries represents. Aries is the ram, the constellation that deals with thrusting forward. And so this is the side of ourself that does want to take action and initiative. So first and foremost, it's great to do a status check with this side. This is going to be illuminated, right? This side of ourself. How is our active? How is our initiating? And how is our independent side, going? This side that wants to pursue our needs, pursue our desires, pursue our goals, right? And to get some of that fire energy moving to make that happen. Now, with such a close conjunction up to Uranus, I don't know if you can see this on the small screen, but Uranus will be at 0 degrees and 0 minutes conjunction up to Uranus, which is an exact conjunction. And so really emphasizing the Uranus energy, which is the planet of what you could call the liberator, or the side of ourselves that wants to liberate ourselves so we can have more freedom and do things that are more important to our true self, right? Because our true self wants freedom and change and excitement and different experiences. And in this context, to healthfully disrupt some things to pursue these needs these desires and this more individuality that Uranus represents. So good to do a status check with that side. How can we induce some change, right? Fundamentally with Uranus, how can we get outside of our comfort zone a little bit with maybe some of these goals, needs, desires? And how can we, in a sense, really connect to that more visionary side? Because Uranus is the, traditionally the planet of the sky, ruler of the sky. And so Uranus, just like Aquarius, deals with our future vision, our future aspirations, right? Again, that true self that is very intuitive, can even see the future. A lot of us have strong Uranus placements, can get that activated, strong intuition, strong visionary, strong future-oriented energy. And so how can we have this visionary side that does want to induce change for those aspirations for the future? All right. So especially again, in the context of what's important to our needs, our desires, and to really link up with that true self, right? Doing things that are more in alignment with that true self. And this is in a sense already been activated these past couple years with Uranus starting to come into Aries. And so this has been the past couple years a good time of really experimenting with who we are and what we want, right? And this going through a kind of experimentation process. Uranus is also like the scientist. So it's all about getting into that, let's say, chemical lab and throwing a bunch of random things together to see what comes out of that. And in this case, different desires, different needs, who we are, different ways. This could be a great time of mixing up our identity, our individualism. Be a great time of mixing up those needs, right? Things we want in life, and experiment with those. And I think experimentation is really the key with the current energies just in general, because we have a lot of retrogrades, right? Mercury is still going to be retrograde during the full moon. Uranus is retrograde, and Mars, the ruler of Aries, is also retrograde. So let's talk a little bit more about Mars, because anytime you want to get more information on a full moon or any planet in a constellation, you can always look to its ruler. And that's the planet that rules the sign that, in this case, the full moon is in. So Mars rules Aries, and Mars is in a very deep, watery constellation retrograde in Pisces. And so this has been, for about the past 4 months, this importance of being more receptive to pursuing our needs and to taking action, right? Pisces is the oceans of life, and retrograde means it's a more internalized process. And so it's good to, see that, through going with the flow, through being more receptive, through checking in with our spiritual self, we can activate some of these, again, needs, individualism, change, freedom, right? All this kind of stuff. So very important to be willing to be receptive, see where the divine energy is going, the flow of the cosmic energy is going, and put energy into that. And sometimes inaction is the best action. Sometimes not the most direct way is the best way. Sometimes doing things that are more important to us on a spiritual and soul level when it comes to our needs and desires might be the key when Mars is in Pisces, right? Because Mars is saying that, look, these needs and desires need to be united with both the cosmic energies and the flows of life, which are completely out of our control. And right now, we have very little understanding in terms of where that direction is. But intuitively we can know, and we can always check in, listen to that inner guidance, and really ask ourselves, what's important to us on a spiritual level when it comes to our needs, what's important to, what's, spiritually meaningful to us when it comes to pursuing these needs, and to maybe do a little bit of reflection, maybe doing a little bit of that reworking, reconsidering, inward process, right? Reflective process with Mars retrograde in Pisces. All right, so really good to see it in that context with Mars here. It is definitely the combination of fire, which is Aries, initiative, action, through the water, through the oceans of life, and what's important on a spiritual and soul level, and air, which is Uranus, which is innovation, experimentation, right? Getting outside that comfort zone to induce some change and freedom and to liberate things here in our life regarding us and our needs and who we are and our identity. Now, of course, with all full moons, there is the importance of balance. And so in this case, the sun finishing up Virgo. Virgo is a very large constellation, so it does make up some of the opposite energies of Aries. And this is the axis here where we want to make sure we're not getting too perfectionistic or too much into the earthy, grounded side of things, to where we're not, willing to maybe make some changes, or where we're not willing to take some action. right? So it is still good to focus on things like, creating structure, improving things, focusing on taking care of things, maybe doing the work, right? All this kind of doing day-to-day, almost routine kind of energy with Virgo, which has been heavily emphasized for about the past couple months. And so we do want to focus on that. And I think a great way of balancing Virgo and Aries is on healthy routines, right? Because it's through the routines can help us set goals, can help us take action and initiative. It's also by, focusing on personal development, right? How can we improve ourselves so that we can, take action and initiative? So really good to do that. And I would say just in general, because, Mars is in Pisces and we have all this energy in Virgo, and even leading up to it, the moon will be in Pisces. It is about this balance between, work and rest, doing and being, taking the physical active energies of life, but also again, checking in to the spiritual self and being willing to be a little bit more receptive to where we're taking action and initiative. All right, so that's the most important stuff going on here with the full moon. I do want to mention that, of course, the sun will be in exact opposition up to Uranus, since the full moon will be an exact conjunction with Uranus. So in this case, we want to make sure we're just bringing extra conscious awareness to that liberator side of ourselves. We want to make sure we're not breaking free to any way that becomes too disruptive, or, throwing the baby out with the bathwater, making some sudden changes. This can sometimes be a quite impulsive energy, quite erratic energy with all this fire with Uranus. And so we just want to make sure that that's, that side of ourself that does want freedom and change, to bring conscious awareness to that so we can have healthy change. But definitely listen to that true self. There's definitely something coming in. The full moon is illuminating the true self and what we can change, what we can innovate, right, all in the context of our needs and desires. And with that extra conscious awareness, we can make sure it's nice and balanced and healthfully constructed. All right, everyone. So that is the full moon in a nutshell. Very straightforward. One, major aspect aspect with the full moon, which is the conjunction to Uranus. So most important thing, status check as we approach Saturday. Noticing the building of energy, getting closer to Saturday, we get some illumination of what can bring in more freedom in our life. How can we take some action and initiative to make that happen? And particularly around Saturday, this deeper true self being illuminated in the sense of what is important to us, both on physical level certainly, but I would say particularly on a soul level and spiritual level. And how can we healthily get outside of our comfort zone? Maybe do some things that are a little bit uncomfortable or might involve some change or experimentation that could be important for those needs that we can now implement moving forward for the next couple of weeks. All right, everyone. So, that's the full moon forecast. Hope this was helpful. Be sure to click that like button if you're watching this on YouTube. If you are an MTZ Insiders, you're already getting this video first. If you aren't yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, there's a link down below on the YouTube page where you can sign up for that. You do get the videos released first, and there's also extra content outside of the normal YouTube videos. All right, so have a great full moon, everyone. Thank you again for all of your support, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.